Hi, Tanjanique. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I just want to say thank you for taking that inventory. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to go over your anxiety results. Are you okay with that?
I'm perfect. I'm perfectly fine with
Okay. So, in the beginning, we had you take that same assessment, and I remember explaining it to you regarding kind of scaling your anxiety. Okay. So, your score was 15, which means that you were severely anxious, okay? You were severely anxious around parenting, specifically because you're a single parent. So, if I were to tell you, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much anxiety are you feeling right now surrounding your parenting styles or just parenting in general?
I would have to say a 2, maybe a 3, but definitely 2 or 3.
Okay, that's good. That actually reflects your current assessment because your score was a 5. So your first score was a 15. Your current score is a 5, meaning that you're now just mild anxiety, which is
so I'm not anxious no more.
Right. It's pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just kind of like to go over just everything in general, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
So what happens if you're triggered? If you're feeling anxiety again?
Meaning how am I going to deal with that?
Right. So what you used a lot was overwhelmed.
Okay.
So I think you used that.
So how am I going to deal with feeling? How am I going to act when I feel overwhelmed, or what techniques or coping mechanism I'm going to try?
Right.
Well, I think that you were pretty good with having me do the journaling exercises. That worked really well. Like I found that I was like journaling all the time.
Okay.
So when I felt like I was getting overwhelmed, or when I felt like things were just going crazy, I would just get my book and just start writing, and that worked really, really good for me. And also just like the other activities you have me do, like they all seem to work really well.
Okay, so let's talk about the journaling. So remember I explained to you ANTS, which is automatic negative thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we were looking at is your thought, your feelings, and your actions. And so that's what the journaling was supposed to do, is identify what your feelings were at what time and what your actions were going to be, so that, just to put it in layman's terms, if you think like shit, you feel like shit, you're going to be shit. And so to kind of switch it around and put it into something that applies to you, you were feeling overwhelmed. You were thinking that you weren't a good enough parent, right? So you were feeling like your daughters weren't getting anything out of that. And in action, what you were doing is just kind of overwhelming yourself and stressing yourself out unnecessarily, because after identifying and reframing everything, you kind of just kept mentioning like, oh wow, I'm doing a lot, or just the little things you would share.
What I've noticed from the journaling, what I kind of write, it's kind of like a mental note. So like for a while, like for the weeks that you had me doing that, I was writing like, I'm a good parent. I know that I'm a good parent. Like just writing positive things to reflect that, just to remind myself like, you're doing a good job. Like it's okay. Like you don't have to be perfect. Like there was no manual. There's no manual to tell you how to be a perfect parent. So as long as you feel like you're doing it right, and your kids have the necessities that they need, and you're giving them the amount of time, you're giving them that quality time, then you're doing a good job. And it's okay. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't continue to beat yourself up. But for me to get to the place where I felt like that, I had to like write that down. Like I just had to see it in writing. Like you're a good parent. So I think that was a great technique for me. Like it's something that, to the point now, it's kind of like, as sometimes how we say, well, like if you wake up and you think you're going to have a bad day, then you are going to have a bad day. Right. So that's like a natural instinct to me. Like I don't think that I'm a bad parent. I try not to think that parenting is overwhelming. So I'm like, I'm a good parent. Like it's okay. Like, you're doing this right now, but it's going to pay off in the long run. It's not going to always be overwhelming. And that's kind of like helping me find that.
I do have to praise you, because you've applied the thought schema to just everything. And that's how things work, right? you said it yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And so you gotta wake up in the morning and think that this is gonna be a good day, and then guess what? You're gonna have a good day.
Yes, I am a firm believer of that.
Okay. So then, moving forward, can you just highlight who you can contact if you ever feel overwhelmed or anxious?
Well, I feel like I can contact my mom.
Okay.
Another, like, me and my mom have a really good relationship. We kind of, like, talk every day. And then I also have a best friend who I talk to every day.
Okay.
So I know I will be able to contact her. And then I have, like, a few coworkers, our friends from work who I talk to, and I'm able to talk to them about my personal life because although we're friends, like, it's different. Like, I don't feel like they're judging me. Like, you know, they don't really have nothing to judge me on. They're, like, listening to me, you know, and they're giving me that feedback or that insight that I need to have at that particular moment.
Okay, so you know who you can contact. You have a good set of support system, not just, you know, your family, but also friends. And then in the past, what has helped you is journaling. But what is going to be your plan if you're feeling overwhelmed?
I mean, honestly, outside of the journaling and the talking, I just think, like, meditation, just, like, taking a moment to just relax and just not overthink things, just, like, a breather, just, like, a breath, like, you know, like, a breath of fresh air, just sitting there and just taking everything in and just letting everything out, just, like, a little, having some relaxation techniques or something like that. I think that would be pretty good, like, to incorporate some relaxation techniques.
Okay.
Some, like, mediation or things like that.
So
meditation. Meditation. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Meditation.
So just being mindful.
Yes.
Okay, and then just doing the breathing techniques like we've practiced in class and session. So, okay, so everything's looking good. It looks like this is the 10th week, and your scores have gone down significantly. Your goal was basically to not have the negative thoughts, and so I think you've addressed that because your anxiety has lessened, so you're no longer exacerbating those negative thoughts. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before?
I mean, I feel like I know what to do if I start to slip or if I start to feel overwhelmed. But if I do want to continue these sessions, is that an option? Where do we go from there?
Right. So then basically you help me out by identifying a goal, and then we work from there. You know, like the same thing that we did too. We kind of score it just to make sure that, you know, you're meeting that need or that goal. And then you basically, we go through some type of coping skills or something that's going to address it. And then we assess it again to see if there's been a reduction in it or an increase, whatever your goal was. And then we go from there. Another thing you can do is just do this on your own. I mean, you journal on your own all the time, so you can apply that to anything. Like, for example, what was another thing that you mentioned in passing? Just teaching your daughters good coping skills.
Right.
So even if you turn around and teach your daughters how to journal, like, do you feel like that would benefit them at all?
I do feel like that would benefit them. And actually, they kind of started journaling with me, too, because they'll see me journal, and they're like, oh, Mom, like, what are you doing? We want to write, too. So that actually, I love that technique. It works really well for my family.
Oh, that's great. And so you're modeling to them, you know, great coping skills. You're teaching them at a very young age how to be resilient and how to deal and regulate themselves, you know, and not get into an anxious state where it's going to affect their daily living, right? Or they're going to, you know, think that they're not up to par with something.
Right.
So, like I said, you can always reach back to us at the office. They can always book you in. You know, we'll keep your chart with us. And like I said, everything that is said here is confidential. So if you ever feel like you need to touch base on anything else, you're more than welcome to come back. You're more than welcome to reach out to your mom. You're more than welcome to just, you know, journal on your own. I mean, it's completely up to you and your choice.
All right, well, thank you.
No problem. It was nice working with you.
You
Thanks.
too. I'm even